for recording. um, no mic test. We're just gonna record.
Oh, we're just recording. Wow, we're just going into it.
Live
Okay.
on the edge a little. It is
Okay.
what it is.
All right, I sent you some stuff.
Okay.
All of those images are of her, and then the three ladies whose names are indicated there are the victims.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not
Okay.
editing this, by the way.
All right. I'll reduce the ums as much as possible.
That's a good idea. Although
Yeah.
there hasn't been a lot. I think my episode on Oak Island there was quite a bit, but
Okay.
um, there you go.
Okay. I think we're getting better. That might be
Yeah,
why.
we're definitely getting better.
All right. Okay, in that case, yeah, let's get started then. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the lateness. Baby, okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello, all, and welcome to Murder at the Round Table. My name is Raf, and I am joined today by my awesome co-host, Ipsha.
Hello there.
So, before we start off, if you like what you're hearing today and you want to join the murder again to hear us discuss cases or sometimes just vibe, then please take a moment to like, subscribe, follow on whatever platform you're on. And yeah, so Ipsha,
Mm-hmm.
would you agree that the love of a mother can be a truly powerful thing?
Sure, yeah. I'd agree.
Okay, I would as well. I've heard stories of cars being lifted and mothers and parents in general going to great lengths to protect their children, from
Mm-hmm.
harm, physical, literal, or perceived. Now, a riddle for you. What do soap, cookies, and tea cakes have in common?
I have a bad feeling about this one because you've give me a bit of a heads up. So it was soap, cookies,
And tea cakes.
tea cakes.
Hmm.
I feel like you're gonna tell me they're gonna be made with the same ingredients.
What? No. That doesn't make any sense. How
I'm
can soap and cookies and tea cakes be the same thing?
sure
Well,
there's some like ingredient chemical that people use today that would show up in all three of those things.
mhm. I think a safe answer would be the smell. They all
Oh yeah,
usually
scent.
smell pretty good, right? Exactly.
The yeah, scents definitely, yeah.
All right. So I've asked you two questions. They're seemingly
Hmm.
unrelated, but we're about to find out why they're scarily related.
Of course.
Um, I'm hoping by the end of this, we'll have the answer. Now, we did a BuzzFeed quiz a while back for those
Hmm.
listening as part of the ethics of true crime podcasters. I decided recently, at the request of a listener, to go back and revisit one of the individuals mentioned. I kind of hinted at that at the end of one of our previous episodes.
Hmm.
So, in today's discussion, We the Murder will be discussing one of Italy's most chilling killers, her life story and lead up to bizarre crimes, all done through the eyes of maternal instinct. Let me introduce you, of course, to Leonarda Cianciulli. I am pretty sure that's how you say that, but I could be wrong. I'm going to be sticking with Leonardo, though,
Sure.
otherwise known as the Soap Maker of Correggio.
Horatio.
Yeah.
Okay.
This will begin with a breakdown on her early life, lead up to the murders, and the subsequent trials and legacy. Note most of what we know and
Hmm.
what I'll be talking about is from her memoir. It's a very thick book, whose authenticity is still debated today, and some scholars think that it's just heavily influenced by the lawyers
Fair.
who were helping with her defense.
Totally
Trigger
get that.
warning. Yeah, right. So trigger warning for today is violence, murder, absurdity, magic, I guess, and suicide. And yeah, let's get started. So we find Leonardo, born on the 14th of April, 1893, or 1894, depending on which article you're looking at, in Montella, Avellino, Italy, uh,
Mm-hmm.
by the name of Leonarda. And she was one of six children, and just went through a lot in her early life. She suffered from epileptic seizures and nightmares. She attempted suicide twice during her youth, according to her, but both accounts were provided through her memoir. Uh, so it's kind of like maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, but there was definitely suicide attempts later on during her incarceration.
Okay.
She had a forced engagement to a cousin by her family, which was the typical practice was for the family to set up
Mm-hmm.
a husband, and in this case, it was a cousin.
Okay.
And she started committing crimes pretty early on, including some theft when she was young, so around like 1912. So,
Do
sh mhm.
sorry. Do you really know like what kind of led to her creating committing crimes?
Committing crimes.
There we go. I found words.
Not particularly. Like there isn't a necessarily huge reason for it. In this specific case, it was just a recorded theft as part of her like
Mm.
criminal record. Yeah. However, so she broke out of the engagement
Mm-hmm.
and against her family's wishes and decided to marry a registry office clerk by the name of Raphael Pensardi.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? It was kind of eerie. In 1917, so this was against her mother's wishes. She claimed from then on that her mother cursed them by uh, not giving her blessing, not attending the wedding, and eventually cursed her from her deathbed and wished her a life of suffering, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
In 1912, she was found threatening someone with a dagger and a handgun, which was added to her criminal record. What started that whole thing? No indication, just as something that had occurred. And then in 1921, once they had gotten married, she moved to uh, Lauria, Italy, with her
Mm-hmm.
husband. There, she became known locally as a poetess and fortune teller, as she began offering fortune readings and spiritual guidance. While doing this, she developed a strong superstition and belief in curses. She also developed a pretty bad reputation there as having low virtues, defrauding people, and apparently this was such a big deal that it needed to be noted, not listening to her husband and being opinionated.
Well, okay. Right, right, okay.
It's just I found it funny that that was just put in the same line of like of all the bad things that she was doing, and this was in the same list, and I'm like, sign of the times, I guess.
Yeah, sign of the times. Yeah, it's like, oh, she's committing fraud, which is like fair enough.
Yeah,
And then you go to from fraud, it's like, oh yeah, the worst thing possible included in this is that she's got her own opinions that does not align with her husband's.
yeah,
What a woman.
yeah. So eventually, she was arrested in 1927 for fraud.
Hmm.
Uh, this was due to her like fortune telling gig, and specifically arrested for defrauding a lady out of a couple thousand lyre,
Hmm.
which is just the term for the money. This led to 10 months in jail. So, yeah, 10 months jail time and a 350 lyre fine. Um, Once that time passed, uh, she was released and she moved with her husband to Macedonia.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, 3 years later, the home was destroyed by a 6.6 magnitude earthquake in Irpinia region. So the home was destroyed. They had to relocate again.
Ugh.
And then this caused her to move to Correggio, Italy.
All right, so the story officially starts.
The story officially starts. So that's kind of getting her to the point.
Mm-hmm.
So here she opened a small shop where she was selling soap and homemade goods using the money that was provided to the victims of that earthquake. And she also opened a side service in palmistry and astrology.
Okay, so more things that could lead to her getting charged with fraud.
Yeah, but it seems like a little bit more tame, at least. She at
Okay.
least had a, business front that was the soap homemade goods, very, oh gosh, very Etsy.
Very Etsy. I mean, like at
Yeah,
least if she's got money, because she was a victim of the earthquake, at least she's using it, you know,
right.
properly. Very Etsy, but at least she doesn't have to do the monthly um, payment to Etsy over top of the commission to Etsy.
Hmm. Okay. One second here.
You've lost your spot.
Oh, actually, it's more a charging situation. I forgot to plug in my laptop, but we're good now.
Okay, good.
Okay,
I just
so
didn't
jump
want to
back.
stay silent, so I just kept talking.
It's all good. Um, so yeah, so she started up this shop. She gained
Hmm.
popularity and respect among neighbors as being eccentric, but a strong fascist,
Hmm.
which makes sense. This was during the lead up to World War II.
Hmm.
Um, and she reinvented herself essentially as a community helper and seer. Ah, such a positive person.
Of course. Seer as in
Because of the palmistry and astrology, so as part of that side business,
okay.
like
I
helping
see.
people, yeah, resolve things.
When you said that, I
Hmm.
thought of like the um it's a board game. I think it's called Wolves or something like that. And there's a role in the game. It's like playing Mafia, but with cards. You each card has like a role. One is a seer,
Hmm.
so it sounded similar to that. But someone who can see things um, in the future, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
So as we've kind of seen, as much as she's gotten to a point where she's setting things up, there's been a lot of tragedy that's been going on with the family,
Mm.
and there's still more to come here. So within the 1930s, we find some more tragedy for them. So Leonarda supposedly had 17 pregnancies.
Mm.
So three of them were miscarriages, 10 were stillbirths, and thankfully, eventually, she had four children. She was especially protective of her eldest son, Giuseppe, which makes sense considering he was the
Mm-hmm.
first out of, like, there were 13 previous
Mm-hmm.
unsuccessful uh, births, so she was very special.
I was just about to ask if she's
Hmm.
had children or not, but you got to there.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Raphael, the guy that she married,
Hmm.
is that like someone she's related to?
No,
No? Okay.
no. At least not indicated in anything I've read as someone she was related to. It was just
Okay.
the guy she chose to be with.
That's fair. Okay. Continue.
Yeah. So she came to believe, uh, partially now, and one thing, so this was something she was concerned about leading up to this situation with her children, but she really came to believe at this point that a curse was killing her children. And
Mm-hmm.
like mentioned before, she was thinking her mother had something to do with it because of the death curse.
Right.
In addition to that, years earlier, and I chose to put this here because it didn't specify a specific year, but it's more relevant here. Years earlier, she met a fortune teller, Romani,
Mm-hmm.
fortune teller slash Romani, who predicted all her children would die. Specifically, saying to her, "You will marry, you will have children, but all your children will die." I did not need to read that quote now that I realize I literally summarized it quite well.
Yeah,
Anyways,
pretty much.
and only after an intervening local sorceress was involved was she able to have those four children.
Okay.
Yeah. So in her memoirs, adds she indicated this passage that I'm just gonna add here too, because I think it really shows her state of mind at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And she writes, I couldn't bear the loss of another child. Almost every night I dreamt of the little white coffins, swallowed up one after another by the black earth. That's why I
Yikes.
studied magic. I read books on palmistry, astrology, spells, hexes, spiritualism. I wanted to learn everything about spells so I could neutralize them. So there was a little bit of like building up knowledge over the years since what happened with her mother,
Mm-hmm.
but it really came to a head as she was going through the process of losing child after child after child. According to her in her memoir,
Mm-hmm.
this was the case.
Yeah,
So,
and
mhm,
sorry. I was gonna say, like, yeah, it kind of makes sense for her to like go down what we would call um kind of like an alternative route to
yeah,
like belief system, considering like I'm assuming even like being one out of six children was probably not easy. She seemed to not have a great childhood. So yeah, she's kind of relying on the last thing possible. Like she's grasping at straws almost.
she is. And when she finally has those four children, and it's because, supposedly a sorceress helped her, and
Right.
these children now become like her life, her most precious thing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of adds to now she's like, okay, I have them, I need to protect them.
Right. Of course, because like 17 children or 13 you said that she'd lost. That's not an
Yeah,
easy loss for sure. So,
yeah.
yeah, the few
So
that she has, she's going to hang on to them very
ex-
tight.
exactly. Um, so yeah, at this point she's desperately looking for ways to protect them, leading to seeing omens and signs all over her daily life. This turned to interpreting signs as literal instructions and kind of, you know, as indicated, dabbling further into occult and superstition and kind of getting
Mm-hmm.
into some dark places. Around this time, she's visited by another Romani who predicts prison and asylum in her future. And potentially, I think it might have been due to how she was talking at this point.
Fair.
Perhaps she spilled more than she meant to about where her mind was at.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, if when I say Romani, for those who do not know, colloquially you'd know them as Gypsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I have a quick question.
Hmm.
You said like she was protecting these children with her life, which is fair. Um, has anything yet happened to these children that made her kind of like, even like just a fever or a cold, that made her kind of like her behavior so elevated that you know of?
Nothing mentioned that's happened to
Hmm.
them yet. However, when we come into 1939, that's when it really comes to a head because the time right now is the approach of the Second World War, right?
Hmm.
If not already the start. Oh gosh, my social teacher would have been so embarrassed. When did World War II start? Hold up.
Near this time, a little
Actually,
bit ahead.
literally the year 1939. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So 1930s, yeah, you have the lead up to it. 1939 is the start of the war, and she has an eldest son, a son who is studying literature right now at the University of Milan, and who has a pretty high chance of getting drafted.
Hmm.
And that's what happens. So he gets drafted into the Royal Italian Army.
Yeah.
Then she begins panicking for his safety, and finally comes to the conclusion that a human sacrifice could save him.
Oh, oh, oh.
Essentially, at this point, she views fate as this great puzzle that she could outmaneuver with everything that she's learned so far about the occult.
I,
Now, there's a bit more to say as to why she comes to this conclusion, but I'll bring that up later.
okay, that was my question. It's like, how is she? Because I actually find human sacrifices, no matter what culture it's being, um, whatever culture it is from, a little bit interesting.
Hmm.
And so I know like she's looking for signs and stuff. So I'm curious to learn what sign she got that would have been like human sacrifices is the answer.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, I was in the same mindset. And yeah, I got it, and I was like, that's kind of insane. But anyways, we'll get there. We'll get there. Or not,
That's
or
kind
not.
of insane.
And you know what? I can't. I should be neutral. I'll pass judgment. No, I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore.
We'll do
Uh,
the judgment at the end.
yeah. All right. So within the same year, 1939, specifically the 14th of December. So this is now, let's see, September, October, like about 3 to 4 months since World War II started.
Yeah.
Uh, we are we come to our first victim, Faustina Setti.
Hmm.
So Faustina is the sweet 50 or 70-year-old spinster. It's a big gap, but two different articles, two different ages,
Hmm.
uh, who wanted to find a husband. Leonarda saw an opportunity here and told her she found a man in another town called Pola for her.
Hmm.
So she instructed her to write goodbye letters to mail to relatives and friends after she leaves for Pola. So when she arrives to Pola, to send all those letters out and not to tell anyone until she has reached there and she's met her man's.
Oh.
Before leaving, she visited Leonardo one more time, to say goodbye, where unfortunately she met her untimely demise and just said goodbye to life in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this place that she's going to or is told to go to, that's an
Hmm.
actual place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just another town to go, and apparently that's where Leonardo found a man for her. So when she came to visit Leonardo that last time, so she was drugged and killed with an axe to the head.
Mm-hmm.
She was then dismembered into 9 parts with the blood collected. The body was dissolved with 7 kilograms of caustic soda. Caustic soda, for those who don't
Mm-hmm.
know, because even I didn't know, it's also known as sodium hydroxide. Was used at the time for like household cleaning, laundry, and soap making.
Okay, that makes sense in some ways. Soap making, it's a cleaner.
Yeah.
Maybe like a
Uh,
little bit, like tiny little drops.
and drops. It was more like it was boiled with it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just saying like tiny
Mm.
little drops because like if I'm assuming it's pretty probably harmful to the skin. So
Oh, that's what you're saying.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, the rest of the remains were poured into septic tank,
yeah. Okay.
and the dried blood was baked into tea cakes and cookies using milk and chocolate that she then shared with visitors and her eldest, Giuseppe, and the other children.
Oh, I bet Giuseppe's proud. It's
Additionally, she took 30,000 lire from Seti and sold her clothes and jewelry.
oh,
Yeah.
nothing suspicious there.
It's I note those 2 points afterwards for a reason. I'll come back to it too because as I was reading this and I saw like the those 2 things at the end, I'm like, huh, I'm really wondering about the motivation here. Unfortunately, no one questioned Faustina's disappearance initially.
Mm-hmm.
The war had just started, people disappearing, individuals disappearing. It's not necessarily the,
Worst thing.
yeah,
Surely there's
unfortunately.
like people who are like trying to like move out and go to like, I mean, it's a world war, so everybody's involved, but trying to find like better hiding spots or even like safer spot. So
Or just in general, moving. Like, yeah, if your neighbor is just gone, you might assume they left because of the war.
yeah, pretty much. So
Yeah. Then a year later, on the 5th of September, we find our second victim, Francesca Soavi.
hmm
Leonetta claimed to Francesca that she found a job for her at a school for girls in a town called Piacenza. Like Faustina, she was convinced to keep her departure a secret and write letters. She came to visit Leonarda before departing, and again, while there, she was provided wine. She was drugged, then struck and killed, dismembered and disposed like Seti. The blood was mixed into cookies again, and additionally gained 3,000 lire in personal belongings. And Giuseppe actually was the one who mailed her letters from Piacenza
did
on
he
the
know?
behest of his mother. Now that's the question, isn't it? Did he know?
Or is his mom like, hey, can you just send these out? Um,
Yeah, these
I
are
had
just
a
for a
visitor.
friend. Yeah,
Yeah, I had a visitor come by. They wanted to send them to family. They weren't able to.
most likely the approach she took. It doesn't
So he,
indicate that he
okay,
knew of what was happening.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Uh,
like such a innocent thing
mhm,
to be like, hey, a friend came by, wasn't able to send these out.
right?
Yeah,
Like if my parents did that, I'd just do it. I wouldn't
yeah,
really think about
exactly.
it. Yeah.
And it's not even just parents. If anybody told me to be like, hey, if you're going to the post office, here, take this with you.
Okay, I don't know about anyone necessarily because
Well,
you never know what you're mailing, right? And now your fingerprints are on it.
well, like here's the thing: if it's like an envelope and it's like my
Mm-hmm.
neighbors are telling me to do it, I might. I'm not gonna be like an absolute stranger, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's like my neighbor or like a family friend, I'd be like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
And it's not just my fingerprints on it. There's gonna be more fingerprints on it too.
Unless they were careful. They were wearing gloves, right?
Well, in the post when I take it to Canada Post, do you think that I've never seen anybody at the counter at the post office wear gloves.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, they find all the fingerprints, they identify everyone involved, and
I
okay,
th-
okay.
I think you're when it comes to fingerprints, you're thinking too much into it. Fingerprints are actually they rub off.
I might be overthinking it, yeah, but you know
Yeah.
what? Considering the stuff we talk about, I'm not surprised. I trust no one.
We'll do an episode on how fingerprinting works. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah, fingerprints rub off. If
okay,
there's
okay.
anything you need to know from this episode, that's one thing you should know.
Even though they weren't even using
Hmm.
them at this for this at this time.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping back in, say there was no immediate suspicion, and this process was essentially refined and repeated, and there were no consequences yet.
Hmm.
And finally, we come to her third victim by the name of Virginia Casiopo, a
This is
former opera singer,
oof.
age 59. Now, this one, I was like, why her? Because this is somebody who has some celebrity.
Standards, yeah, or status.
Standards. Wow.
Celebrity standard. I'm sure she has those too, but status for
But
sure.
status, right? Yeah. So there's people who'd be thinking about her.
Hmm.
Well, unfortunately, um, or fortunately for her, but unfortunately for the previous two victims. Anyways, so Leonardo promised her a secretarial job in Florence. Again, she kept quiet, wrote letters in advance. Again, she came by for one last visit. She was drugged and killed like the others, though later she was described as, this is in quotations, fat and white by Leonardo, which was ideal for soap. Leonardo
Okay.
mixed the flesh with perfume to make creamy soap. Again, quotations. I need to indicate that I am not the one saying this. I
He
did not
was
choose
there.
these words. And then she gave the bars to neighbors and friends. And the
As they
cakes
do.
apparently tasted better.
Yeah,
Quote,
I
she was
guess
really sweet. Oh
body
my
fat,
gosh. Yeah.
fluffy
In this,
soap,
yeah, in this
creamy soap,
case,
sorry.
oh my gosh. She
Fluffy cakes,
additionally,
maybe?
oh my gosh. No. Ah! So in this case, she gained an additional 50,000 lyre, and diamonds, rubies, and bonds, and she sold her clothes and shoes. Now,
So,
mhm,
oh, well, I was kind of thinking about it because we were
mm,
like, well, she has some celebrity status.
mhm.
Then I kind of thought about like, why would she want to work as a secretary if she's a performer? She probably has like gigs every
Oh
night
no,
or every
this
other night.
is this is a former
Oh,
opera singer.
former. But
Yeah.
still, like it was like, oh yeah, like she could come back. Then it kind of hit me. It's wartime, so people probably aren't going to shows as much.
Hmm.
So it would also make sense that people weren't um like her fans weren't as, keeping up with her or staying in touch with her as much because of the war times. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of occurred to me.
Yeah. And the position promised, yes, it was a secretarial position, but it was a position for an impresario, who was just a person who organizes, and kind of finances like concerts, plays, operas. So it would be
Oh,
like work that was still within the realm of what she was like her
yeah,
passion, I guess. It's just she was no longer a singer.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a specific title for those, the type of work that you just mentioned. Um,
Yeah, the person I was talking about, impresario, that's the name anyways. It's from yeah, that.
in Italian or English too.
This is in Italian, but it's still used today.
Okay. No, I've
Yeah, but it's
heard
but
as a
now
different one here
oh, okay.
in
But now
English.
it
Yeah,
would be like a producer.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep
Uh,
thinking Ticketmaster, but
that's the app.
that's the app. In person Ticketmaster.
Yeah. Oh geez, we're laughing so much with this. Her disappearance obviously raised suspicion, and
Of course.
police took notice because of her reputation.
Hmm.
So, back to our previous riddle. What does soap, cookies, and tea cakes have in common?
I think we found that out.
Exactly. Like I said, it could be the smell. Personally, I think all three of them smell great, but apparently humans can be a key ingredient for each of those items.
It's the body
I
fat.
Yeah, I'm so surprised though that through nine like that year, give or take, um, like in late 1939 to late 1940s, that no one tasted anything strange in the cookies and the tea cakes. Like, is it really that easy for that to just be mixed in?
I'm also thinking, like you said, there's a war going on,
Hmm.
and just people's mind was probably in such a different place.
Yeah,
So it's probably like somebody gives you a cookie or some cake, and you don't really think of like the taste of it. You're like, oh, I've got something to eat.
you're
Um,
not really questioning it. Yeah.
yeah. For us, if I go to someone's house and they're like, "Oh,
Hmm.
I made a cake. How does it taste?" I might be like, "Okay, this tastes a little bit different compared to like, another loaf of the same name that I've had before."
Hmm.
But yeah, I think their mindsets were like in a different place at that point.
Yeah. So during this period, Virginia's sister-in-law, reports her missing,
Hmm.
and police started investigating, and they found clues such as uh, Virginia was last seen entering Leonardo's home.
Okay.
So they swing by. They find victims' items traced back to her. So just victim like items from Leonardo and additional items found at the same location, and then some other environmental findings, so like blood and dentures were also found in the home.
Hmm.
So initially, she stayed quiet during questioning until police arrested Giuseppe for mailing some of the victim letters.
Oof.
This now caused her to fully confess to protect her son.
Of course.
And she gave like really detailed account for what she did to each victim and claimed that the victims gave her items voluntarily. In addition, she identified that she herself was in fact the goddess Thetis, because just as Thetis wanted to make her children immortal by bathing them in the waters of the river Styx, she wanted to save her children from death with the blood of her victims.
Um, That's
Yeah,
so different.
hence the thought that human sacrifice could be an option to save them.
But that is, she wasn't killing people. She was just dipping her children in water.
Yeah.
That is so different.
Well, you don't have the river Styx. What's the next best thing to use, I guess?
Human blood. That is up there somewhere. It's like, excuse me, please don't drag me into your mess. This is not anything that I did for my children.
Yeah. So we find her at this point, uh, kind of putting on the defense of like, okay, I did all these things and I did them for my children, and yet you look at how meticulous she was in her actions, but then in the amount that she took from each of her victims. She took their money, she took their belongings,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just like when she was younger, when she was stealing, like, is it really entirely about,
Her
you know,
children.
her children?
Um, I don't know if you're gonna get this to this.
Hmm.
So, what's the son's name? Sorry,
Oh, the eldest, yeah, Giuseppe.
Giuseppe. Did he eventually go to war? Like, what was he doing, like career wise?
Yes, he was. So in 1939, he had, and I hope I mentioned it, but he'd been drafted
Okay.
into the Royal Italian Army.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the other question was like,
Hmm.
what was his reaction finding out that his mother did this?
It's a good question. Not indicated.
Not indicated, or like
Yeah.
her other children? Not indicated.
We I found an article that kind of mentions a little bit about them, but because they're mentioned like for like a sentence, it doesn't indicate necessarily their reaction or anything like that, but rather
Mm-hmm.
just their names. Yeah. So
Okay.
I just chose to leave it out.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I Okay, yeah. There's another question, but I'm just gonna wait because you might actually answer it,
Hmm.
maybe, but we'll see.
Okay. Let me find my spot again here. Um, okay, so the trial itself now was held in Reggio Emilia,
Mm-hmm.
which is another city. And when she was there, she even, when she took the stand, she even very calmly, she corrected the officials on details that they had wrong about the murders, just to double
Okay.
down.
Yeah.
She even volunteered the information. She's like, I gave the copper ladle, which I used to skim the fat off the kettles, to my country, which was so badly in need of metal during the last days of the war.
Okay.
Yeah, she had a lot of pride for her country.
She 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 had a pride for a lot of things. Her children, her
Yeah,
country, her
and
community.
right, and it was here that she had the stand that she claimed she only killed out of love. But she provided her soap and cake recipes, indicated them very publicly. And yeah, so after all of this, she was found guilty for all the charges. So the three murders, the theft of the victim's properties, the desecration of the corpses. And with that, she was sentenced to 30 years in prison.
Mm,
Um, she was also given 3 years in a criminal asylum in Pozzuoli.
yeah.
And at this point, she got the nickname the Soap Maker of Correggio by the press at the time.
Wow.
So after that, most of her life was in incarceration, and every so often, speaking about what she did, uh, the release of the memoir, and eventually she dies of cerebral apoplexy on the 15th of October 1970 at age 76. Uh, Cerebral apoplexy, I didn't know this either. So is it's
Hmm.
essentially a stroke
Okay.
or a cerebrovascular accident. Yeah, and it includes a sudden interruption of blood supply to a part of your brain, causing brain tissue damage because of the lack of oxygen and nutrients.
How many years has she served at this point?
At 1970, and she was incarcerated 1946. She has served 24 years so far.
Oof.
Yeah.
And so I guess I could ask my question. I don't know
hmm
if you're done or not. If you're done or not, but I'll ask.
Uh, the only thing I have left is kind of what came out of this legacy wise, but yeah, so you can ask a question.
I was gonna say like,
hmm
because she did this for her children, quote
hmm
unquote. Did they ever come to visit? Do we know? Because I'm like kind of wondering what their reaction was. Were they kind of like, "This is weird, mom"? Um, I know like before we hit record, you said there was a lot of information on articles that were in Italian that you could. Um, you don't know Italian, so you couldn't read them, but
Oh no, I was just using like this is the page translate on Google Chrome,
yeah,
right?
sometimes they're
So
not accurate. But yeah, do you
eh,
know anything about like what happened to their relationship between children and mom or anything?
no, honestly,
Okay,
yeah, no. Everything is written from her perspective or with the
right.
focus on her. That would be something good to have
She,
included because, the indication of like you did all of this for us, but in the end you lost us, I don't know.
I feel like if they had kept a relationship or visited, she would have mentioned it.
She would have brought it up as yeah,
Yeah,
like to indicate like they still love me and stuff. But I can also
the
see them cutting her off because
oh,
she
of
fed them
course.
people,
Oh, of course. And
right?
I don't know, in
Mm,
the right conscious mind, I don't think they would have supported that at all.
yeah.
The theft part, if she was
hmm
only stealing, I could have understood it being a little bit more forgivable, but the whole killing, cooking, and all that is totally on a different than just theft.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Sweeney Todd? Just out of curiosity.
I don't think so.
Okay. You and I, we need to watch that movie. It's one of my favorites. It's very dark, but there's a character in the movie who does the same thing. Basically takes people, makes them into like, except but she does like pies,
Hmm.
like meat pies that she sells,
Okay.
but without the moral grandstanding. And as I was
That.
going through this, I was thinking about her,
Hmm.
um, and I was like, which one is better? Not that any of them is better. I don't even know why I was trying to like weigh the two instances. They're
Mm-hmm.
both terrible, but it's something about saying that, oh, I'm doing this for my kids that just bothers me so much.
Yeah. And I get like up to a certain extent it is up, like you're trying to protect your kids. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have kids, we won't understand what that is like to be there, but to go to a point where it's like I'm gonna sacrifice someone else's child regardless of how old they are, young they are, for
Yeah.
my own is a little bit, it's too far for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Likewise.
Yeah, that's where I don't understand about human sacrifices, rituals that sacrifice, even like an animal sometimes, where I'm like, I don't get it. How, like, that does not make sense to me at all. But
Mm-hmm.
again, not a parent. I don't
So
know
maybe we
what
should both revisit this in like 15 years and see how we feel.
15 years, maybe like once, come visit it once one of us has a kid. Be like,
Yeah.
okay, let's see if we would go to humans.
Yeah.
Like, here, I will say, listening to this,
Mm-hmm.
coming back to like mums who use essential oils and crystals feels a lot more
Oh,
normal, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
That compared to this, that feels a little bit more normal. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with it? I don't know. I don't I use essential oils for like steam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's all I can say. Again, don't have kids. We'll come back to this. Put it in the calendar for like 15 years from today.
Okay. Sounds good. It'll be noted.
So
Or
that's
somebody just send, like, just post a comment 15 years from now, assuming that this is still up.
2040. That's 15 years.
Sheesh.
We'll come back. 2040, August 10th. We'll meet you back here with
Oh
an
my
update.
goodness. I'm gonna be 42. Ah,
Are we going to be doing this for that long?
I don't know. Okay, let's finish this up, but I don't know. So once she passed, her story became pretty widespread,
Of course.
and actually, our group keeps talking about doing a trip to Italy.
Hmm.
So you and I can actually go to the Criminological Museum in Rome, where we will
I would love
find
that.
her pot and other artifacts from her home on display.
I would love that. I
All
think,
right. I was like, oh
yeah,
my goodness. Okay, we have a spot to go to for this. Um, yeah. So she additionally became a subject of many plays, including one um, created by Lena Wertmuller in 1979, which ran on Broadway in 1983. She inspired short films, documentaries, featured in Deadly Women, referenced in music. It essentially became a no, not an urban myth. I don't even know if you'd say like a pop culture influence reference. I don't know.
it in a way, it's one of those things that
Hmm.
media storytellers are using to show some sort of shock effect. Like, oftentimes when women in any part of the world commit a crime that's this huge, it
Hmm.
becomes a big thing because you don't often see women doing these things. So, as in a point of view from a storyteller, this is like extraordinary. It's quite amazing thing to happen
Yeah.
because you don't see it happen. Versus a man, you have a man who's doing the exact same thing. It's like, okay, we have weirdos in society who do that, but this is a woman. So
Hmm.
it becomes like this. this person, she becomes Leonardo, just becomes like an inspiration for storytellers now.
Exactly.
So yeah, it kind of is like a fact, weird way, but
Mm.
okay.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And yeah, that's everything I had on her.
That
And
was really good. Thank you for
oh,
that.
okay, thank you. If anyone is listening and is Italian, I'm sorry for butchering names. Feel free to comment and tell me how bad that was. I will
We do have
learn.
listeners from Italy.
Oh, geez, right. If there's any clarification or addition to the story that you're aware of that I might have missed, or something I should follow up on, please let us know. And especially if you have any account specifically on the children and their reaction to everything, if there's something out there, uh,
Hmm.
yeah, feel free to comment that down. But yeah, any closing thoughts?
No, that was really well done. And so, yeah, no, I think that was really well done. Thank you so much for that, Raf. That's good.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for everybody who's listening. And again, as indicated before, please take some time to comment, like, subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you're seeing this, and tune in for another sit down at the round table where we'll figure it out and get back to you.
Yep.
Okay,
It's
bye.
my
Hmm?
episode. It's my
Oh,
episode.
okay. Do you know what you're doing, or
Yeah,
is it a
it's an
surprise?
insane one. It's quite
Ah, okay.
crazy. But I think
Okay.
everybody's gonna like it. All
Alrighty, I'm
right, bye
stoked.
bye.
Bye.